to racism at these migrant hotels. It gave me a sense of purpose.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
So what is it
Now,
that you see yourself doing?
I'm actually listening to
like how do you see yourself going
Christmas,
with
the
Jesus?
putting Christ back into Christmas festive celebration outside Downing Street, London. I don't know if any of you have seen it or been watching it, but my God, if you want a laugh, go and have a look. It is hilarious, absolutely hilarious. Somebody keeps putting comments up, billion numbnuts, mozzies. I'm guessing is because there's a pink poo thing.
Can you imagine?
So yeah, just
when I came here, I was met with love. I was met with hugs.
What's this one? BST Junkie says.
I want to show the world.
Hang on.
Oh, it's gone. Looks like.
But
brotherly love does not look
I really, go and have a laugh at this. And they've been singing Christmas carols as well that are just really,
thank you very much, Bougie.
Really off key. And
give it a cheer, ladies and gentlemen.
Listen to what he keeps saying as well. Christ is King. And it's just ridiculous. It doesn't look like there are too many of Tommy's supporters there, to be honest. I'm looking at Urban Scoop News, and it's on Tommy Robinson's
we've got one more testimony
channel.
To bring up. And so I want to ask you to give a mighty cheer for our brother Evangelist Dean. You can do better than that, London. Give him a cheer. So, brother, what is it you come here to tell us?
I just want to share. Thank you very much. I just want to say Merry Christmas, London. And I just came back from mission trip.
Anyway,
what I've seen today, this is the power of prayer. And I was sharing with my brother Tommy. I said in Pakistan, there is churches is doing prayer and fasting for this young man and standing with the truth. So I just want to say congratulations, brother. And you are
prayer and fasting for this young man. Can you imagine the Tommy Robinson's crowd fasting? And this guy's asked them to pray daily with their kids and their family, and that prayer is the most important part of Christianity. Now, I'm not a Christian, I'm pagan, and you guys know this, but just, WTF, what the fuck? Hi, Elle, lovely to see you. Hi, Billy, lovely to see you. Hopefully some more will join us. If you are watching, please give us a like. Yeah, Reagan put up, he was live yesterday and I saw briefly a bit of it. I didn't see it all. That he's had problems with his Discord server and all sorts. Yeah, I was supposed to be on Reagan's live stream on Thursday, but I know that Darren from Daily Blase went on, which I'm really glad that he could get, somebody on in my place. I was just so poorly. As you know, I've been really poorly with my kidneys. Yes, Elle, they are charlatans. Absolutely, all of them. They are fake Christians. It's Christian nationalism. It's all a load of bollocks. It really is. He was talking about putting Christ back into the economy. Christ back into the economy. Can you imagine? Didn't he go and throw all the tables over of all the money lenders in I can't remember where it was now, but he went and threw all the tables over of the money lenders. And then this guy was moaning about a Christmas tree, I think, in Covent Garden that's got a collection plate on it. And he's saying they shouldn't have that. It should be, a star or an angel on top of the tree. So what, Christmas isn't about giving? It's not about giving to charity, giving to churches so that they can continue and carry on. I mean, just an absolute load of bollocks. So it's on Tommy Robinson's channel. it's just absolutely ridiculous. The comments as well are just hilarious. And they were asking, oh, if you've been saved today by Christ, put I've been saved. And I'm just like, yeah, these guys will be down in the pub later on tonight getting pissed, and they've not been saved at all. They don't even know what saving is or being saved is. Yeah, Christ the immigrant, absolutely. And do you know, it annoys me when you look back to what was that film back in the 70s? I think it was. He had blue eyes. Peter somebody, I think his name was, the actor. You know, everywhere Christ has been portrayed as being white with blue eyes. He wasn't. He was Jewish. He was Middle Eastern. I wish they'd make their flipping minds up. Do we like Palestinians or not? You know, there's certain things we can and can't say on the channel that I can and can't say on the channel, but I think you all know where my beliefs lay or lie. I have Jewish friends, and I believe that those who are Jewish and who follow the Jewish faith would not want what is happening in Palestine to go on. And I believe that, yeah, it should all be, you know, anybody who is religious, in whatever religion, whatever belief you are, it's about love. It's about faith. It's about loving each other. It's not about who's right or wrong. It is about loving each other. I saw an interesting article yesterday. I'm going to be doing a video about it. I'm going to be recording some videos tomorrow. And it's about how a lot of English people are now going to stone circles to celebrate their belief and their system, their faith, and so on. I'm actually going to get out of this live stream because it's doing my head in. We're going to have some visitors in a minute. Some furry pains in the bums in the minute are going to be joining me. So be prepared to see some ass anus. Hi dears, lovely to see you. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much for joining. If you are watching, please click the like button. It helps with the algorithms. It helps to get the channel out there into, you know, the matrix, out into the matrix, so that, you know, other people can be enlightened by my rubbish that I talk. So yeah, I just think that this whole, it's fake. We know it's fake. We know that they are doing this deliberately to pretend that they know what they're doing, to pretend that they love this nation, to pretend that they are Christian, and they're not. They're fake Christians, because a true Christian would love other people, would love the migrants that are coming here, would love the people that are coming here that need help from, you know, whatever life they have had wherever they've been. And they're not, are they? They are just so full of hate. And I must say, the crowd that's there is not a massive crowd. And you can see the people at the front seem to be more enthusiastic about this than the people standing at the back. And it is just really, really sad that a belief system is being used to create hate. Hello. You see, it's nearly tea time, or they think it's nearly tea time. Are you going to knock everything off my desk? You're going to walk all over my keyboards? Yeah. Okay. Okay, you get to meet my one-eyed cat now. This is Goblin, who you can see here. Hello, baby girl. No, you're not going over there. Come here. Come here. See, look at the camera. Ah! Some. She's only got the one eye. See you on telly. You're on telly. You're famous, Goblin. You don't like it, do you? Hi, Pete. It's lovely to see you. I'm going to talk about my health in a minute. So this is Goblin. She's the pain in the bum. She's the one that always comes to wake me up in the morning by bashing me in the face. She's my little fatty. Ow! That was a claw in the face. She's my little fatty. You can see the little fattiness there. She just clawed me in the face. So I'm going to try and hold her so she she's off. She's off. So I've probably got a blood thing going on my face. But why can't people just accept that other people have different beliefs? That, you know, we're not all the same. She's farted and she absolutely stinks. Oh, God. It's a good job we don't have smell-o-vision. Yeah, so why can't we all just love each other and, you know, accept each other for our differences? Why do we have to be horrible and nasty to each other? And I know, like you guys, I do go and troll on certain groups and certain posts that I see. And, you know, it's like trying to talk sense to them and trying to get them to understand things. And they won't, because it's really hard for people to change their minds, isn't it? If a person has an idea in their head that this is the way things must be, and they believe that they're right, and then they learn that actually they're wrong, it's difficult for them to change their mind and to admit, look, I was wrong, and to move forward, isn't it? It's a pride thing. It's an ego thing. It is an ego thing. So I am drinking herbal tea. This is Peach Spice. It's the London Fruit and Herb Company, and it's absolutely delicious. Really, really delicious tea. So I'm glad, because Twinings do them, don't they? But I'm not really, I don't know, Twinings just... So I bought this off of Amazon, a box of something like 40 tea bags, different flavors, really, really nice. No sugar in here, no honey in here, just water and the tea bag. Oh, God, she stinks. Has she done a poo in here? It smells like she has. Has she pooed on me? Definitely smells like she's done a poo somewhere. I'm sure I'll find it by standing in it at some stage. So my kidneys, I've got blood tests on Monday. I'm going for blood tests on Monday. Unfortunately, I couldn't get in on Thursday because the testing times that they had were before I had, before I got home in order to book a blood test. Because now we have to do it all online. We have to do it all, you know, via this sort of triage system, and you book online, which is good because it's really quick and easy. I mean, I rang the doctors, not actually first thing on Thursday morning. I rang them and she said, oh, you need to do this triage form online. I'll send you the link, which she did. And I went and did it. And within an hour, I was phoned back and said, right, you've got an appointment at 10:30. Was it 10:30? Yeah, it was like 9:30. They rang me and said, you've got an appointment at 10:30. Okay, great. So in I went. Lovely, lovely doctor, absolutely lovely. And I think that they must have some sort of note on the screen that says she knows what she's talking about when it comes to the body. I was like, look, I know it's my kidneys because this is where the pain is. This is what's happening. I explained everything. And eventually he believed me, you know. But anyway, so I'm going for these blood tests. So I will let you all know what happens from there. But in the meantime, I have starting the morning off with warm water and lemon, hot water, obviously with a bit of cold because it's too hot to drink, boiling water, and a slice of lemon, fresh lemon. So not squeezing lemon in, not making it too citrusy or too acidic, but just that bit of a taste, because that is supposed to cleanse the kidneys. And then drinking water through the day. I have my pint glass. This is my second pint. But when I went out running, I have my water bottle, which I just put water in. And then obviously my herb teas. And in the morning I have 2 cups of tea, 2 cups of black tea. You know, you've got to have some vices, but I've stopped drinking coffee, which is making me really, really sad, because I do like coffee, good coffee. I don't like bad coffee. And I think that coffee goes with certain foods better than tea or hot water and lemon. So when I come back from running, I also have another hot water and lemon so that I'm warming up my kidneys. Now, when I go out, and I did speak about this on a live previously, I have it's like a small t-shirt thing, and it fits underneath the chest and over the hips, and it clings to the body. So it keeps the warmth in the kidneys. And then I wear t-shirt and long sleeve shirt and another t-shirt over that, and my jacket if it's raining. So I am aware of keeping my kidneys warm. I do warm them up as well, rubbing my hands together and then rubbing my kidneys on my back as well. And I've been sat this afternoon with my hot water bottles there. But I must admit today, the pain is a lot less. And I think one of the big problems that I had was and I know this is, I'm really angry with myself, is the sports drinks that I was drinking. Now, these are not things that you buy over the counter. This is a powdered drink, and you put it into water, and it's a proper sports drink. It's called Science in Sport is the name of the company. And it obviously contains electrolytes to replenish the body while you're running. And I think in summer, it's fine that I have that when I'm running. But I think in winter, because I'm not sweating as much, I'm still sweating, but not sweating as much, that it was probably too much. And on Wednesday, I had drunk quite a lot of it, although I do take a water bottle with me as well. So I was drinking water in between, but I think that that's had an impact on my kidneys. And basically, when the kidneys become poorly, they are not able to filter the waste products out of the system. So your liver does a lot and your kidneys do the water side of things. But obviously, it goes into both. So there are certain things that affect the kidneys more, like alcohol, which I had the last time I had a drink of alcohol was the 1st of November, and I won't be drinking alcohol this Christmas. When I'm at home, it doesn't bother me. I don't miss it at all, even when I go out, because I normally drive myself, so I don't drink when I go out. But things like Coca-Cola, which I love, I need to stay away from it. So it'll be better for my health overall that I, drink healthier. And next is my diet, which will pretty much start in the new year. I am trying to eat healthier at the moment before I go to my family for Christmas Day and Boxing Day. But it's hard. It's very hard. I have a sugar addiction. I have a big sugar addiction. So come to the comments. To my understanding, although a form of Christianity, England is C of E, Church of England. Yes, it is. And the St. James Bible is the Bible that the Church of England use. The Church of England and Anglican churches worship through Christ, whereas the Catholicism worships through Mother Mary. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you very much. I am wearing hat. I've got hair hat day, whatever it is, because my hair, I'm getting it done on Monday. So I'm looking forward to that. It needs colouring again. I've got far too much grey, so hence the hat. Pete, you've got to really watch those kidneys. Mine failed in the drop of a hat. Yeah, never saw it coming. Came as a bit of a shock. Yeah, I missed 2 routine checkups. Then bam, blue light job. Yeah, I know. My dad, he had heart failure and he was rushed to hospital. And during that time, he was given a catheter and he experienced problems with his kidneys and ended up having to wear the catheter permanently. And then, of course, they found cancer in his liver. And the comorbidities, when you have comorbidities like that, the havoc that it wreaks on the body is tremendous. because your liver and kidneys are fighting to flush out the toxins. And, you know, what we need to remember is what we put in our body is the fuel for our body. So you drive a car and you put petrol in, and, you know, you want to drive the car with the cleanest petrol you can. And that petrol fuels the car and the car is able to drive. Whereas, you know, eating a whole load of sugar, witchy, is not good. It's good for quick energy when you need quick energy, but, you know, my sugary cravings are all the time. So I have to start cutting out my sugar. I will. It will happen. It's going to take time, but it will happen. Wake up in the morning, black tea and breakfast. Go for a run, a lot of electrolytes. I know the song. I know the song, Elle. Yeah. Good one. Hi, Joe. Yes, I am feeling much better. Still got pain in the kidneys, but it's nowhere near as bad. I am taking much better care of myself. And the biggest thing that I have found is the decision that I made yesterday to defer my studies until next year. I put a huge amount of pressure on myself with my studies. I wanted to get a distinction. I wanted to, you know, do my best that I could possibly do. And so you all know the stress that I went through with finalizing that essay, and I got 80. And I'm really pleased with that. You know, I didn't expect 80. I was hoping for 70 at the most. So getting 80 was, you know, quite a surprise. So yeah, it's a huge relief. Last night I slept for nearly 9 hours. It is the longest sleep I have had in years without being interrupted. Even the cats stayed away from my bedroom until it was time to get up. Then Goblin came and bashed me in the face. But it's that stress that was lifted. I think the biggest fear I had was my mum would be disappointed. My mum's 88, and obviously, you know, I have worries. And I know she is proud of me for going to, for studying through university. You know, I'm the first in our line of the family to study at uni. And she calls me a clever clogs. I'm far from clever. I work hard to study. You know, I'm not a boffin. I soak up the information, but I have to read it. I have to study it. And I have to, you know, go over it again and again in order for me to be able to transfer that knowledge into the essays or whatever it is that I need to do. And I would get to the state of stress where I would think, well, you know, do I do the housework or do I do studying? And then I would be just sat. My running always came first. Going out and exercising was the way and is the way for me to de-stress. And it does de-stress me to go out running. I'm out in the fresh air, I'm in nature, not breathing any petrol fumes or exhaust fumes, seeing the birds, the squirrels, the insects, the flowers, the trees. I mean, okay, it's winter, but I still love the forest. I saw quite a few squirrels today. I saw some blackbirds, and it wasn't raining today. The sun was out, so that was great. But obviously, yesterday when I ran, it was raining, but I had a really good run yesterday. I ran faster than I've run for quite a while. And, you know, different days, different speeds. Today, my run was a bit slower, but that's okay. I'm running for joy. I'm not running to race at the moment. I've got another race coming up in January and then one in February, and then there'll be more through the year. But at the moment, I'm running for me. I'm running because I enjoy it, because I get out there and it's euphoric. It is euphoric. The body releases endorphins, and that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about we're going to talk about cortisol, which is the stress hormone. Just read some comments. I persuaded our lass to buy them porridge pots for breakfast, better than 2 slices of toast. Actually, those porridge pots are nice. If you buy the posh ones, I like the posh ones, but I make porridge from scratch. I use porridge oats, add water. And when I do the porridge pots, I only use boiling water, and I like my porridge thick. I don't like it runny, so I only put a bit of water in. I take those porridge pots when I go camping to music festivals. Like when I go camping to the pagan things, I can cook. I can take my little fire, my little gas stove, but at Bloodstock you can't. So, we get a little one of those little things that have the little paraffin block in, and we heat up the water for the porridge and for our tea. But it is number one brekkie, Pete. And as a Scotsman, I'm sure, yeah, I do love my porridge oats. I do. And you can also add things to it. Like I only have 30 grams of porridge oats. I do measure it out, pop it into the pan, and then I measure out, it's about a cup of water that I put in. And then I either add in some raisins, or I chop up some strawberries, or put in some raspberries or banana or apple or some other fruit, just to give it that sweetness. I do put sugar on, so that needs to stop. So honey, I will move to honey for now. It's a little bit more natural, isn't it? Witchy, I'm sleeping a lot most of Wednesday and Thursday. This time of year, our melatonin is low because the days are so dark. So our body doesn't produce as much melatonin. I don't know if you can get some vitamin D that you can take. But they... rest when you need to rest. Don't worry. Don't stress about it. I do that. I think, okay, yesterday afternoon, I went for a lay down. Wednesday afternoon, I went for a lay down. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all. If that's what you feel you need to do, then do it. Listen to your body. I like what Pete's asking. Why those days? Run for joy. Yes, Billy. And then stayed awake all day Friday and last night, slept from about 8 to 12 watching your last vid, and fell asleep during that until 3 when the animals feeding alarm went off. Oh, bless you. I must be boring. I must be boring. Let's have a look. Pete, I don't know, I put it down to no bunny. I got up for him, then kept busy doing modifications for 3 weeks, burnt myself out and slept a lot after. That combined and seasonal disorder. Yeah. Oat burst, 70% flakes, 57 grams, about 50p each. Yeah, I buy the big pack of porridge oats that's dirt cheap, and I use that. Joe, everyone is different. The sun and the heat drain me. During winter, I feel better, and also during the night. It also has a lot to do with your physical and mental conditions. It does. It definitely does. Definitely does. Which, you're not boring. I don't fall asleep, more pass out. Okay, well, I'm having that effect on you. So coming to the cortisol. So cortisol is produced by the adrenals. So the adrenals sit on top of the kidneys. And I went and researched this because I knew that cortisol in excess is bad for the body. But I didn't know as much as I do now. So I hope you can see this. This book is absolutely brilliant. The Human Body book. It's not got a specific author, but if you have a look here at the top, try with the light, because the light, okay, the top here. This brown area here is the kidney, and the bit on top is the adrenal gland. Okay, and this is what produces cortisol. And obviously that cortisol is then filtered through the kidney. So that is when we are stressed, a certain amount of cortisol is good, fight or flight. You know, you get the adrenaline and the cortisol. There's a dead spider on my book. You get the adrenaline and the cortisol at the same time, and that pushes you forwards, say you're being chased. So cortisol in a certain level is good, but in too high levels, it's very, very bad. So the adrenal gland, adrenocorticotropic hormone triggers the adrenals to produce steroid hormones that control stress response and the body's use of fats, carbohydrates, proteins, and minerals. So electrolytes are minerals. It's a salt-based food source or substance that you're putting into your body, because salt contains electrolytes, sugar as well. And so the body has to break that down, and too much salt is bad for the kidneys. This is scientific speech, so if you don't get it, it's fine. The inner medulla and outer cortex of the adrenal gland each secretes different hormones. The cortical hormones are steroids and include glucocorticoids such as cortisol, which affect metabolism. Mineral corticoids such as aldosterone, which influence salt and mineral balance, and gonad corticoids, which act on the ovaries and the testes. The inner medulla functions as a separate gland. Its nerve fibers link to the sympathetic nervous system, and it makes the fight or flight hormones such as adrenaline. So you can see all of those hormones together will create this sort of combustion in the body. Now, if your kidneys are working fine, that's good. You're going to be able to release that. But I have sort of early stages of chronic kidney disease, CKD as it's known. And I don't want it, but my medication that I've been taking for years and years and years has affected it, possibly other things as well. You know, there's genetics involved and alcohol involved and other things involved, and also smoking. Smoking actually does affect the kidneys too. I didn't know that. Well, you know, smoking's bad for the whole body, isn't it? But the middle layer of the cortex produces this hormone, which controls how the body uses fat, protein, carbohydrates, and minerals, and helps to reduce inflammation. So that's at a reasonable level that it will help reduce inflammation. So I'm going to put that book aside for now. And I'm going to read you what I found on Better Health, which is one of my favorite websites that I work from. They're really brilliant. It's an American-based company, but they have doctors, psychologists online that you can talk to if you have problems. So I do trust this website very, very much. In fact, it's a website that I actually want to work with or work for when I've got my degree eventually. But at the moment, as I say, I've put that aside because it was just too much stress. It was just adding far too much stress to my life at the moment. And if you don't have your physical and mental health, what do you have? So I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's quite long. I did put a link to it in the description box of the video, of the live stream, so you can go and have a look at it yourself. The adrenal glands release cortisol in response to stress, playing a crucial role in the body's stress response system and helping you respond to high tension situations. However, this hormone does much more than respond to stress. So it explains what cortisol is. The adrenal glands in the human body may sound strictly responsible for producing adrenaline. However, each adrenal gland is responsible for producing numerous hormones. These hormones may control blood pressure, electrolyte balance, metabolism, and immune system suppression. One of the stress hormones produced by these two glands is the chemical known as cortisol. The effects of cortisol on metabolism, blood pressure, and inflammation. Most of the cells within a person's body contain glucocorticoid receptors. Thus, cortisol is involved in numerous bodily functions. Cortisol plays a role in controlling metabolism, blood sugar levels, and blood pressure. It also contributes to memory formation in individuals and assists in fetal development for those who are pregnant. If too little cortisol is produced, a person may experience illnesses like Addison's disease, also known as adrenal insufficiency, which can be life-threatening. Cortisol is also considered a steroid hormone and may reduce inflammation within the body. For this reason, corticosteroids, hydrocortisone, and other medications that contain cortisone, a closely related chemical, are often used to treat specific injuries and inflammatory conditions. So it helps with metabolism, blood sugar levels, and blood pressure. Now, I have a low blood pressure, so that's quite a good thing, but my heart rate is very low from my exercising. And it's about 68, sometimes 64. It used to be 48 when I was super fit years ago, but I doubt I'll get back to that sort of heart rate again. But my blood pressure is normal. It does drop when I stand up, but my heart rate is normal. And even though I've got COPD, my oxygen level is pretty much normal. It varies between 99 and 96. Go below 95 and that's bad, but it doesn't really happen. But again, the running helps with that because it is teaching me, well, I already know how to breathe, but we don't breathe properly. And I will talk about that in another video at some stage. And it helps to reduce inflammation. So one thing that you do get if you have a depleted kidney function is edema, which is swelling in the legs and ankles, specifically around the ankles, and it's water retention. And if you push it, it doesn't come back. My dad, when he was very, very poorly, his legs were so swollen and you'd touch him and that dent would stay there for ages before it would go. So luckily at the moment, mine aren't too bad. What I do though, every evening is I do give myself a leg massage and then I lay with my legs up the wall for a while to let all of those well, it's good for cellulite as well, but to sort of release all of that fluid into my body. And I found that helps. It helps with running because obviously my muscles get sore. I don't suffer with cramps, but I do get restless leg syndrome. And that is also another side effect of kidney problems. What activates the release of cortisol in the body? Incidents of stress are often referred to as the leading cause of cortisol production. Still, other factors in an individual's daily life may also affect cortisol secretion or increase the cortisol levels within the body. The effects of cortisol levels due to lack of sleep, particularly for individuals who sleep during the day rather than at night, so L, that's for you, has been linked to higher levels of the hormone cortisol compared to those who receive an appropriate amount of sleep at night or have a more regular sleep schedules. Those who experience insomnia or frequently wake up throughout the night may also experience elevated cortisol levels, and that is me. I am an insomniac. But last night, I was able to sleep. So I do believe that the releasing of that stress after speaking to my mum and saying to her, look, I need to defer for a year. And she's like, yeah, that's okay. Because I'm doing this for me, but also, you know, for her, if that makes sense. And it was just like a weight was lifted. This huge weight was lifted. So obviously my adrenal glands are producing the normal level of cortisone. Have another sip of my tea. It's getting cold now. So cortisol effects from low amounts of exercise. While regular exercise could ensure a person has enough cortisol present for healthy function, smaller amounts of exercise, regardless of intensity, may cause elevated cortisol levels in those who are out of shape, unhealthy, or dealing with obesity. However, for those who stick to a regime and build tolerance, these levels may eventually even out and fall into the healthier ranges. Now, I find that interesting. And it sort of goes against quite a lot of dietary and exercise advice that is out there, where sometimes we are told to exercise for 10 minutes because you will burn up X amount of calories in those 10 minutes. And if you do like sort of, 3 times 10 minutes a day, you've done half an hour. But if you do have problems with your kidneys, you may not want to do that. You may want to have a prolonged exercise session. And obviously, please, if you're going to exercise and you are obese or overweight, or you do have health conditions, please speak to your doctor first. Okay. Don't just start running, for example, because if you are overweight and you start running, the chances of you getting some form of leg injury, knee injury, ankle injury, foot injury are very, very high, because that weight, don't forget, you're putting one foot down on another and that weight is going into it. So let's say you're 100 kilos. So you've got 100 kilos going down into one foot. So bones can break, ligaments can get torn. So, do realize that that kind of strenuous activity is what happens later. Walking is brilliant. You can start off with a short walk up and down the street, and then increase that, and then start walking around the block, and then take longer walks, further walks. Get yourself, download the Strava app on your phone. It has the ability to record walking and other activities that you do. It's not just running, it's not just cycling. It's a load of other activities as well. I do pay for it a month. You can get the free, the free version gives you everything that you need, but I pay for it because I want the further statistics on my running and I want to see my progress, but that's my choice. But you can download it. It'll tell you how far you've walked, the amount of exercise that you've done. And so it's really, really good for tracking your fitness levels and counting your steps as well. So, they say 10,000 steps a day. I agree, and that's up to you to get those steps in. Walking up and down the stairs a few times is good as well. I do find walking up and down stairs difficult because of my COPD, but I do it anyway. So next, self-imposed stress and its effect on the adrenal glands. Stress doesn't always have to be an external factor to affect a person's mind and body. In addition to stressful situations in general, self-imposed stress may trigger the body's stress response and cause chronically high cortisol levels in an individual. And this is where we get to the cortisol levels that I have been experiencing. A negative mindset or dealing with emotions such as guilt, shame, inadequacy can significantly impact an individual's stress response and cortisol levels. As a result, the adrenal glands, which regulate cortisol production, may become overworked and contribute to ongoing health issues. So, the guilt that I was feeling about not wanting to quit or defer my degree because I didn't want to appear to be a failure to myself, but also I didn't want to upset my mum. Shame, the shame that I would feel in that I've been working so hard with this, but, I've got to start putting my body first. And I think that other stress issues will affect that as well, will affect the cortisol level that is released. And don't forget, what I'm talking about here is a hormone that impacts the body in a positive way, mostly on a normal human being, but on a human being who experiences excessive stress or has health complications, it can cause far more problems. Unhealthy eating habits, also contributing factors to increase cortisol levels. Consuming excess sugar can cause an unhealthy amount of cortisol to be released into the body for those who may already be struggling with obesity. Hands up here. I get it. And I know that sugar is my problem. And sugar is the deadliest of the food types that we can eat. It used to be, we used to say fat was, but we need a certain amount of fat in the body, good fats, not bad fats. So not fried foods. Cooking with a bit of olive oil is fine. Your oily fish, salmon, tuna, and good fats such as in avocados. But, you know, bad fat, such as eating fat on bacon or fat on pork, I don't eat fat. I cut mine off. I don't like it. So even when I'm having bacon, I cut off all the fat. It's something that I've done for a very, very long time. I just don't like bacon fat. I just really don't like the chewiness of it. However, sugar may also reduce cortisol levels when consumed in response to stressful stimuli. What is the British thing that we do? We've gone through a stressful thing. Let's have a cup of tea. Sweet tea. So if you've gone through something stressful, a cup of sweet tea will help. And my vet told me that if I stab myself with the needle when I'm giving Thorny's insulin injection, to eat chocolate afterwards to get that sugar level back up, because obviously I'm not diabetic. So that's one thing that I'm not, which is a good thing. But we often feel comforted by stress eating, which is eating sweets and so on. And it's something that I do. I am a comfort eater. So how the effects of cortisol impact mental health. I'm going to come to some of the comments in a minute, because I see loads have gone up there. So I will have a read of them. And I know Pete's giving us massive amounts of advice. And I'm so glad, Pete, that you're on here today, because I know that you have dialysis, and I was hoping to get a lot of advice from you. So I'm really, really grateful for you sharing your advice with us here, because obviously you've had far more experience than I've had with this problem. Diz says, I look more relaxed already. Diz, I feel more relaxed. I really do. Today, it's just been this big sort of like, yeah, just, I can't explain it. I mean, I put my Christmas tree up last night. I didn't do it all at once. I've still got quite a bit of decorations to do, but it'll happen as it happens. You know, I'm not rushing with it. I'm just taking my time, listening to music while I do it, putting on a YouTube, you know, one of the people that we follow, and listening to them talk about politics and stuff. And that's why I didn't study politics, because I did have the option to study politics from my first module, which was a social sciences module. And my tutor wanted me to go on to study politics because that was what she was teaching. And I said, I can't, it makes me too angry. So the effects of cortisol on mental health. High concentrations or prolonged elevated levels of cortisol might have unpleasant effects on mental health. Constant or intense exposure can contribute to developing or worsening conditions such as anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. All three of those I have. When the body is unable to reset after a period of intense stress, it may release cortisol in order to maintain a constant state of distress in an individual. Over time, this excess cortisol may lead to the development of depression in those who may already be susceptible to mental illnesses or mental health concerns. Constant stress and unhealthy cortisol levels can also alter a person's DNA and put them at significantly higher risk of psychological conditions. So again, this little hormone has a huge impact on the body. And we live in a world where stress is constant. You know, you've got Wes Streeting and other doctors saying, oh, people with depression and anxiety, you know, it's nothing and they need to get back to work and so on. But it's this constant stress. I worked in a very stressful job. I worked in the corporate environment, and I worked long hours. I was on call 24/7. And, you know, my job was, I was a manager. I was one of the IT support managers in the end. I did disaster recovery. I did service quality. I did so many different things. And everything was reaching a target, and you have to work with a budget. It's that constant stress. I used to smoke then. And at that stage, we could smoke in our offices. And I'd sit there with a cigarette on the go all the time. Then I was waitressing. When I moved back to the UK, I started waitressing and working in a bar. And waitressing might sound easy, but it is so stressful. It is so stressful. You know, there are so many things that are stressful. For me now, going to the shops is stressful. I've got a food delivery this evening between 8 and 9. I couldn't get an earlier delivery. They were all booked. I have booked my Christmas delivery, though I did that ages ago. But, you know, these things are stressful. So we have to be aware of those levels of stress and make sure that we take rests afterwards. I know that when I've been to a gig or I've been on a weekend camping or a festival, 2 days after that, I'm going to be on a big downer because my body is getting back to its normal self because I've not slept properly, you know, in a strange bed or a blow-up mattress in some cases, you know, not my normal regular routine. And it all disrupts the body and the hormones. So physical changes to the brain due to cortisol effects. I'm going to read this and then I'll go on to the next section because that's the section that is the sort of important part here. Physical changes to the brain due to cortisol effects. Over an extended period, physical changes in the brain. Chronic stress has been proven to cause changes within the brain and how it functions, leading to an overactive and consistent fight or flight response. And I feel that that's probably when this overwhelm comes in for me, where I just feel this huge amount of overwhelm and I can't move. When was it? I think it was either yesterday or the day before. At one point, I was actually shaking. And it wasn't because I needed food. It wasn't because I'd done anything, you know, to, you know, exercise. I was just shaking. And it was fear. It was fear. And if you suffer from that fear, it's going to release cortisol. Other physical effects include a decrease in one's learning ability and memory retention. It's also been shown in lab tests on rats to damage and kill brain cells, cause premature brain aging, and decrease the rate at which the brain can produce new and healthy cells. All of these factors contribute to conditions like anxiety, neurodegenerative disorders, depression, cognition problems, brain fog, and memory trouble. So this is all stress related. Let's have a look at some comments here. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. I'm just scrolling back up to a point where Pete, I've got restrictions on diet, phosphates, potassium, sugars, and biggest of all, fluid restriction. Yeah, I know, 1.5 litres a day. That includes sauces, milk, soup, anything wet. That's the tough one. I know. My dad was on 1.5 litres per day, and I do not know how I will be able to cope with that because I do drink a lot of fluid. But one thing I have noticed is I am urinating more often now. In the last 2 days, just this sort of realization of what I need to do, you know, so that's a big relief to me. So yeah, I can't. Yeah, that's really difficult. 1.5 litres. It's like 2 pints, isn't it? If you overdo the fluids, it goes straight to your ankles, and worse, lungs. Renal patients pass little or no urine. So it collects until it's dialyzed off by the machine. Renal tests us constantly. Yeah, I know. And that is just, yeah. I don't want fluid on my lungs, especially with me having COPD. So Pete, you must go through hell. And I just, you know, I don't want to get to that phase. And I know it may eventually, I may be able to avoid it by staying as healthy as I can for as long as I can. But, and the cortisone is the biggest problem. I know that my stress levels have always been high. I was 18 when I was diagnosed with a duodenal ulcer. Duodenum is just underneath the rib cage, right where that sort of round bit is, where the rib cage meets. And that's where I now have my complex hiatus hernia. Irritable bowel, irritable bladder, digestive problems, sleep problems. All of these have added to stress levels through my life. and stress levels for many, many reasons. And when I look back, I can see, I've been doing a lot of journaling as well today and yesterday, and I can see where these stress levels have come from. And it's like, you need to decrease that stress, hence me cutting out the studying for now. Fluid restriction is hard, especially on hot days. You're in Scotland. Trick is to use a measuring jug. Yeah, fill it with the equivalent amount of water for all fluids. Keeps tab on it. Yeah, we used to do that for my dad. We used to have his in the fridge, and that's what he had to drink. Billy, you can tell in your speech and body language, oh, that I'm a lot calmer. Yeah. Well, yesterday, don't forget, I had just been for my run, so I was knackered as well. Restless legs with renal failure is brutal. And at the moment, because my levels are all over the place, I have constant chronic pins and needles in your hands, and that's awful. Yeah. That is awful. I mean, my restless legs, I have to move them in bed, but I don't remember doing that last night. So, and I've been told so many times that, you know, magnesium, potassium, all of this, that, and the next thing. And none of it has ever worked. None of it has ever worked. The only thing that does work for me is the massaging and legs up against the wall. And that massaging as well, I am drawing all the fluids that are in my legs up to my lymph glands, which help to get rid of it. So perhaps that's a good thing. I remember when my dad was very poorly, I used to massage his legs constantly. He loved it, you know, from the ankle up his leg. We had special cream that I would put on because his skin was very, very dry, obviously, with the lack of water and fluid in his body. And I would massage his legs, and he absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. It made such a big difference. So massage is also a way to go with, you know, any of these problems. We went shopping, stressed, then walked an old railway line, de-stress. Yeah, absolutely. Quitting your studies is nothing compared to your kidney health. Renal failure will change your life completely. I know, Pete. I know. Factor in 4 or 5 hours every second day for dialysis, of course. Add in travel to and from time. Often you need a short sleep afterwards. Some days you're weak as a kitten. Other side effects is itching. Yeah, I was reading about that. Because it felt like my kidneys themselves were itching. It actually felt like they were itching inside. That's gone now. Yeah, I've already got eczema, and I have chilblains on my feet. So when my feet itch, I have to go and put them into cold water to stop them from itching. Scratching them doesn't help at all. Scratch till you bleed. Yeah, I get it. Claw at night. Yeah, me too. I have to keep my feet out of the bed covers. I can't let them get hot. But that, again, is chilblains related. I had that diagnosed. But then again, it could well be connected to the kidneys. Days finishing your degree literally near unalived me. The stress was debilitating. Yeah. Oh, it's just gone down to the bottom. Sorry, guys. I've got to go back. Oh, sorry, guys. I clicked on the wrong button. So now I've got to go back. Bear with me. Where are the comments? They're not showing. Come on, comments. There we go. And some people complain about futile things when you go through that. Pete, my solidarity, my friend, and all I can give you. I know it must be awful. It must be awful. And I'm hoping that I can, you know, bypass that. Itches on the soles of your feet are the worst. Oh yeah, I don't like that at all. Yeah, I have a one of those brushes, those hard brushes that I use on my soles of my feet. Our environment is toxic. It is, Billy. Our environment is toxic. You know, we could go into the whole scientific realm of things, such as the electronic devices that we have, you know, the radio waves through the air and all of that, microwaves, blah, 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 blah. petrol fumes, the water that we drink, the plastics that we use, there is so much toxicity around us all the time. And there's toxicity in our food, especially processed food. And we get addicted to processed food because of the salt, because of the sugar, because of the other additives in there. And it's so difficult to release yourself of those things, to wean yourself off of them. Palms of your hands, yeah, itchy palms. I get itches here on this part of my hand, and it's eczema related, and on the sides of my fingers. Ankles are really bad, and shoes moving around agitates it all the more. I have cream, but its relief is limited. Yeah. Diz, you already have various MH issues and undiagnosed ADHD. That's it, Diz. I think what I'm going to start doing is like on my live streams, I want to try and do live streams as often as I can, because I actually enjoy it, and sharing this knowledge with you guys is helping you guys as well. And if we are aware of what the stress and mental health issues have on our bodies and the hormones that it releases, we can learn to, de-stress and control that. Our physical health and our mental health will improve. It's combined. It's combined. You cannot do one without the other. So yeah, it is just, I don't have ADHD, definitely not. And I don't have OCD either. There's part of me that wishes I did, because the house would be cleaner, but I have mental health issues. Those of you who've been watching me a while, I've got bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder, which is one of the worst that you can have, because nobody wants to employ you with that. And I can't say that I blame them. It is an awful illness. You can learn to regulate it, but stressful situations set you off. Oh, it's done it again. Your feet are situated by the radiator when in bed 90% of the time. I put a cold water bottle by my feet. I actually use flannels, face cloths, put cold water and put them over my feet. Never thought of the cold. I do sometimes get those ice bricks out of my freezer and put them on my feet as well. Though, Elle, I do think that that's possibly to do with female hormones and to do with menopause. So it could well be, if you are taking or using estrogen and progesterone, it could well be to do with that. Or if you are depleted in that. College during your apprenticeship was stressful enough. Tough 4 years, not modular like now. It was a learn it, retain it. Yeah, for 4 years, big exam at the end. It was a tough gig. Yeah, I can agree with that. I can agree with that. When I was at school, it was you learn it and you had exams and that was it. You had to remember everything. Yeah, modules are much easier. Modules are much, much easier. Sorry, just having a sip of my water. So when I finish with this live stream, I'm going to go and sit with my hot water bottles on my back again and have some cheese and biscuits for tea. That's my tea. And I've also got some celery sticks, some pickled onions, some beetroot, some gherkins, and some healthy stuff as well. So it's not just cheese and it will only be 30 grams of cheese, 30 grams of hard cheese. I've got some low-fat soft cheese and a tiny little block of cranberry cheese. I will cut up an apple as well. Got apples on my tree still. I've left most of them for the birds though, because the blackbirds like them. But yeah, I am trying to include more healthy foods into my diet. My crackers are cream crackers, which are very, very low in everything. And what I've got, rosemary crackers as well. Remember a conversation on Morning Brew that Graham was oblivious to. I was blown away and here I am now. Thank you, Badgers. Thank you, Badgers. Thank you all. You deleted a message by mistake. What message was it? Sorry. Thank you for apologizing though, Des, really. You know, it happens, doesn't it? It happens. You are fun to be around with, my friend. Billy is. Billy is. I love Billy. It reminds me of one of my dad's friends. I don't know you and I don't know what you look like, but it's the way you sort of come across in the chat. You've all got unique personalities. So, how do cortisol levels? Tim made hummus on the dinner table. Okay. That's interesting. I've been thinking about doing some cookery ones or when I'm cooking, but I don't want to upset people if I'm cooking because I'm making mince, I hope, tomorrow. So, because I'm waiting for my delivery. So I thought I'll have cheese and biscuits tonight and then I'll do the mince tomorrow. So maybe we'll see. I might film it first and then see if it's worthy of downloading or uploading. So effects on the body, positive and negative. So cortisol controls blood pressure, supplies high blood sugar when we need it, managing sleep and wake cycle, reducing inflammation, restoring balance after a fight or flight response, providing energy when confronting stressful events, allowing one to think and process clearly, managing how the body processes and uses proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Positive effects are improving mental and physical performance. Makes perfect sense, doesn't it? You know, if you're running in a race, you need that cortisol. Preventing low blood pressure. You don't want the blood pressure to drop too low because you'll pass out. Providing emotional balance and rational thinking. Boosting feelings of motivation. And I was lacking motivation. Allowing an individual to focus their energy positively. So positive amount of cortisol, good effects. Negative impacts of cortisol. Digestive troubles. Tick. High blood pressure. Thank goodness I don't have high blood pressure. Problems with concentration. Well, yeah, I guess, because, you know, you're watching TV and you're on your phone and stuff. But if I was studying, I was studying. It was, you know, impaired memory, headaches. That's an interesting thing on headaches. Because for quite a while now, I've been getting a headache here over this part of my head, and I haven't had it for 2 days. Interesting. Heart disease, depression, muscle weakness, anxiety, sleep issues, and weight gain. And that is something that has, you know, impacted me recently, is the stress has led to me gaining weight. So I have gained 10 kilos, which I'm annoyed about because I've now got to lose that weight again. I'll do it. I will do it. I know I will. I've been counting my calories for the last 2 days, so I'm back to that again. It's hard because my body is craving sugar and the sort of, you know, craving of putting something in my mouth when I used to smoke, you know, that movement of the cigarette smoking. And then I swapped it to drinking water in a bottle because it's the same movement. So I'm trying to take little sips of water, but when I've come back from a run, I gulp it. Oh, higher up the chat. Okay. Sorry. Let's have a look. Cooking decent food on your own can be a real struggle. It can. And I have asked for Tupperware for Christmas because I've got very little Tupperware. When my ex left, he took all the good stuff with him. Little bugger. He left when I was at my mum and dad's. Well, my mum's after my dad's funeral, and I got back and stuff had gone. And he took all the stuff that was good. And then I'm not going to get into it because it just stressed me out, and there's no point. But so now I'm getting the Tupperware, so now I can put the stuff into the Tupperware, into the freezer. So like I'll make a big pot of mince tomorrow, and that will do me for, you know, several meals after that. So I can make spaghetti bolognese tomorrow. I can have mince and mash, mince and rice, mince and baked potato. I can do a cottage pie. So there's loads of things that I can do with that. Joe, I was a baker, patisserie maker, son, grandson, great-grandson, great-great-great, get the idea. In my late 20s, started doing something else, and I make bread and cakes. Oh, I love fresh bread and cake. You see, that's the thing. The patisserie chef when I worked at the hotel and waitressing, he was making chocolate souffles, which are very difficult to do. And so his failed ones we would eat. I was very bad with that stuff because they'd also have Danish on breakfast when I was working breakfast shifts. So the leftover food would get put into the kitchen and we could nibble on it. It's not good. Although, having said that, I mean, I was walking probably about 20,000, 30,000 steps a day doing that job because it was a hotel as well as a restaurant. You know, the restaurant part was part of the hotel. So we would do room service as well. So you'd be walking miles to various rooms. If anybody knows it, it's the Mount Pleasant Hotel in Doncaster, 4-star. Had to do silver service, which I actually enjoyed doing. I'll tell you some funny stories about that. Technically, you're a master baker, not a master baiter. Junior patisserie maker, and one of my brothers and countless cousins are still in the business. Elle, you forget what you're saying mid-sentence. I do too, but that is menopause brain for me. That is menopause brain. But it could also be the cortisol thing as well. But I would love to be able to bake like that. I can when I put my mind to it, but then I eat it. So making cakes is, I live on my own. So it's really difficult for me to not eat a gigantic chocolate cake in 2 days. In the end, I was swearing at him in Italian, and after that, I just learned more and more. So those are the effects of cortisol and stress on the body. And it's very, very important that we take those few moments every day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour if you can, to just sit and be, whether that is meditating, breathing, whether that is journaling, or even walking out in nature, gardening, doing something that is releasing that stress. But it's very, very important that we do that. And I wasn't doing that anymore. I didn't have time. And it's something that I miss. I'm a spiritual person. I'm a witch. I'm a pagan. It is something that I practice every single day. And I wasn't practicing. I wasn't celebrating the full moon. I wasn't celebrating the Sabbats the way I should. I mean, yes, I would go to my festivals and we'd celebrate there, and that was great, but I was not doing my own daily practice. And now I can, and I am. Joe, don't worry about taking over the chat. You know, we often end up talking about food, don't we? It's a thing that we do on with everybody talk. We normally talk about breakfast or dinner. So as you know, I'm a yoga instructor, and part of yoga is mudras, which are hand gestures. So you will know the Om hand gesture, which is the Garuda mudra, I think. And the specific one that I'm looking at, that I looked this up, is called the Buddhi mudra. And it's the fluid mudra. So, Pete, maybe it's one that you might want to try, perhaps while you're having dialysis. You know, I don't know what you do when you're having dialysis. And I know, like you say, it's tiring, it's exhausting. I get that. I really do. So with both hands, you would take the thumb and the little finger together. You can either place the thumb on the pad of the little finger or on the top of the finger, whichever is more comfortable for you. I find it being more comfortable on the top. And you can hold that position as long as you need to. It's a position that you can do while you're sat in front of the TV. It activates specific meridians in the body to release fluids from the body. Try it or don't try it. You know, it's completely up to you. But this specific mudra, I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it on a daily basis. I'm going to see if it works. More than half our body weight consists of fluids, obviously. So do as needed or practice 3 times a day for 15 minutes. And as I say, you don't have to sit and meditate like this. You can sit and watch TV or read a book or, you know, but try and avoid doom scrolling, especially with the release of cortisol. It can be used against a dry mouth, eyes that are too dry and burning, or disorders in the kidney and bladder area. It also improves the sense of taste, which is something that I have noticed because I take a medication called tolterodine, which is stops my bladder from being irritated, but that's a whole other story that I'm working out with my doctor at the moment. But yeah, you know, if it helps with that, great, especially when we're thirsty on a hot day. Even physicians have varying opinions when it comes to how much a person should drink every day. And it certainly isn't good to drink too little, and it's definitely not good to drink too much. You know, you can drink too much and unalive. You know, it happens, especially with runners. Runners can drink far too much fluid. And it says here 1 to 1.5 quarts of liquid a day, which is about 1.5 to 2 liters of water a day. And one thing that it does say in this book, and this book is a really good book if you want to have a look, because you don't do any yogic positions in it. It's called Mudras, Yoga in the Hands by Gertrude Hershey. Okay, so she is German. Blessing the water, blessing your fluid before you imbibe. So first, blessing the water. According to ancient custom, water used for a specific purpose had a spell cast on it. So you can pray over it. You know, this is what in churches happens with the wine, the blood of Christ. You know, the priest or the reverend or the minister blesses the wine. We do exactly the same in paganism. More recent research has discovered that water can actually absorb and store the energy of thoughts and words. And there are videos of this online where you can see the water that's been blessed stays clear and the water that hasn't been blessed goes dirty. Second, charging the water. It can either be weakly or intensely charged with energy, depending on what you need. It depends on the movement that arises when it flows. So in a natural stream where the water is guided from side to side by the stones, the energy level is higher than water coming out of a tap. So you can stir the water, and this does state in a figure 8, so you're using the infinity symbol. And I will always say to you, stir in a clockwise direction, always in a clockwise direction, because you are putting in energy. Anti-clockwise is Widershins, clockwise is Diasil, so Widershins is negative, you're taking things away. And then third, linking the water to the divine. Now, obviously not all of us are religious or have a belief system. So she consciously connects with the divine and takes in its element with reverence and gratitude. And she takes the glass in both hands in front of her chest, around the heart area. So you can do this. You can be your own goddess and your own god, the divinity within. And she speaks her affirmation and then remains in silence for a few moments. And then also she does mention here, if you drink tap water, ask locally about the quality of your water or use a water filter. I do filter my water. I can't drink tap water. Only if there's no filter water available will I drink tap water. The affirmation that you can use for this, and I will type it into the description box afterwards, so that you can go and use this affirmation, is the spirit, the great spirit that lives in the water, purifies, refreshes, and strengthens my body, mind, and soul. Also, if you want to, you can face the direction of the west, because west is the element of water, which is very, very interesting, because in the UK, the majority of the rain comes from the west. If you ever notice that, I notice it because that's west and it always hits the window on this side. So there is a meditation that you can do with this as well. You can imagine a clear little mountain stream, cheerfully splashing as it flows over the rocks and the pebbles, and dip your feet and hands into it and let it caress you. Draw the water in the hollow of your hand and drink the precious cool liquid. Let it refresh you. And while you do this, repeat that affirmation 3 times. The great spirit that lives in the water purifies, refreshes, and strengthens my body, mind, and soul. When I did my dedication to the goddess years ago, I went to, it's a river in, it's Hennops River. And I think it's in, I can't remember which province it's in now in South Africa. It's not Gauteng, it's the northwest. I can't remember the name of the province, it's just gone. Bananas are devil food. They're good if you're exercising lots, but if you have kidney problems, stay away from them. So I did a dedication by that river, and I found a little space, and I went in the week, not on a weekend, because weekends it would always get busy. There was a barbecue area, or a bright area as we call it, and there were, different things that you could do. People would go and camp and so on, and I found this little part by the river, and I sat there and I had my crystals with me, and I put them into a net, and I put them into the water to bless and cleanse them, and then I drew symbols on myself with that water, and said my dedication to the goddess, did a lot of meditation. That's my choice. You don't have to do that. You do what feels right for you. The dedication also involved the elements of earth, air, and fire as well. So there was that involved too. But the water element is the emotions. Water is the emotions of the body. It's the flow of life. And we celebrate water at the harvest festivals. So, because that's the western side of the wheel of the year. So it is Lamas. It's just gone out of my head. Lamas, Mabon, or autumn equinox, and Samhain. And at the moment, coming up to Yule, we are celebrating the element of earth. And the element of earth at the moment is cold, it's dark, it's underground, and we are keeping warm. So I'm going to drink a few more, read a few more comments, because I have to go and sort the cats out in a minute, because it's nearly time for Thorn's insulin. Oh, I'm not a fan of doing metal, Joe. Oh, no, I don't know. It just really, really depresses me. Hand gestures help with your chi. Exactly. And this is, well, the mudras, it's not called chi in yoga. It is called, is it chi? Chi is Chinese, isn't it? I can't remember what it's called in Hindu, in Sanskrit. It's just completely gone. Ki, K-I, as in Reiki, K-I. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. But I mean, you've got all different kinds of mudras that you can do. You've got the Gyan mudra, the, different things. And then there are different ways of holding your hands that create all different things, different shapes, mountain mudra, church and steeple. And then I like lotus mudra, which I hold over my heart. It's sort of the wrists touch, the thumb and fingers open. That's a very loving opening energy, so it allows energy to flow into the body. give up doom scrolling, but I like politics social. L, I do too, although I must admit I haven't watched for the past couple of days because I've had other things going on. Hi Sarah, lovely to see you. I'm actually going in a few minutes, and I saw Chris was on here as well. Chris C, thank you for joining us, Chris. Lovely to see you here. Tuna bake in the oven, nom nom nom. I'll be round in a few. Let's have a look. You've got rump steak. Oh, I love steak. What's $4.25 from Tesco? Great price. Oh, the rump steak. Yeah, I get that one as well, and I cut it into 3 pieces. I don't know what you do with it, but I always massage mine. I leave it out in the air. I don't put it in the fridge because it needs to be warm. It's better at that temperature. And don't forget that beef lasts forever. I massage it and I put in a bit of balsamic vinegar and a few herbs, Italian herbs. I like them. And then when I cook it in, I do fry it. It's the one thing that I do fry, but I fry it in olive oil and quick sear on one side, quick sear on the other side, quick sear around the edges. I like mine quite bloody. It's a ritual that is a memory of us stopping and thinking, is this safe to drink? Yes. Nice one, Billy. Nice one. You didn't get the notification. I actually had to create a new stream because the other one I did on my phone, and then I remembered that my phone wasn't working properly, and rather than faff and have to make another one, I deleted that and made another one on my laptop. Let's have a quick read through here. My stomach's starting to growl now. Slightly radioactive. I didn't know that. Talking of radioactivity, on a Sunday, tomorrow, I'm going to be talking my Stuff and Nonsense show. I'm going to be talking about some stuff that's been discovered in Chernobyl. Very interesting. I mainly drink water. I'll drink tap water if it's chilled, tap water, ballet water, tango water, any water. Waltz water. I like that sound of that one. Fire water. Ooh. Fire water. No whiz and water, definitely. Let's have a look. No bacon, processed meat, sliced veg, or selected veg. Yeah, check for potassium. Yeah, bad for the kidneys. Eggs. Bread in moderation. This is why, Pete, I can see the amount of food there that you have to cut out, and I just need to stay on top of this as long as I can. Qi is Chinese, yes. Qi is Sanskrit, which is what we use in Reiki and in yoga. So it's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. The energy moves down the meridians. And all of this, what I've been talking about, the cortisol, is all part of the endocrine system, which is the energy system. That is the system that gives us the energy. So all of our endocrine system consists of our pineal gland, pituitary gland, thyroid, thymus, heart, kidneys, adrenal glands, liver, gonads, spleen, pancreas, and our lymph glands. And that's where all the energy goes. And that's how we release that energy from the body. I will do a video on Reiki as well. Let's have a look here. Oh, it's cow milk gave you gas. Went on to soy milk, but I'm not a fan. No, me neither. I've tried oat milk and I've tried all sorts and I don't like it. I drink skim milk, not semi-skim, full skim milk, but I only drink a little bit a day in my tea. And if I'm having porridge, less than what my daily allowance would be. Hi, Draca, lovely to see you. It doesn't matter. You can go watch back on double speed, so then you get to see it quicker. Dizza, you're talking to me about my attitude about health. You know, I used to be super, super healthy. When I first started yoga and was learning my yoga practice, I was skinny. I weighed 64 kilos. I ran 10Ks daily. I practiced yoga daily. I ate healthily. I was so healthy. It was the best I'd ever felt. And then stuff happened. Hi, Alistair. Lovely to see you. Thank you for joining. I'm actually going to be heading off now, unfortunately, because it's just gone 6 and the cats need their tea. I'm surprised that I've only had Goblin in here. I've not had Thorn come to annoy me yet. Elle, you get the hiccups when you eat buttered toast. Only while I'm eating it. It's weird for cow's milk. Yeah, I only had skim milk. Can't have semi or full. Yeah, me neither. Me neither. Although I can eat ice cream. It's one of my favorite foods, ice cream. So yeah, I have to wean myself off, perhaps start eating diabetic jams and chocolates and so on. And, you know, I've got to find what works for me, just the same way that you've got to find what works for you. And Pete's, obviously, you know what you're doing. You've been going through this for a very, very long time. And when I realized that it was my kidneys, I thought to myself, I need to speak to Pete about this, because I know that he knows the whole lot. So, yeah. Oh, here we go. I don't know if you can hear this one. This one's at Florence. Are you wanting your ding-dings? Me? No. Yes, but I must go. Okay, this is, Florence has only got 3 legs, so she won't jump up. Oh, she's cross with me today. I don't know if I was talking about it earlier. She has really bad skin problems because she can't scratch on the one side of her body because the back legs was the one that was gone. So it's her left side. So I have to I brush her with a comb on that side, and then I clean her with I get these, they're in the living room, these pads that are for cats and dogs. And then I've got this stuff, which is like a moisturizer thing for cats and dogs. And I have to do in between her paws as well, because she gets really bad dry skin, bless her. She's, yeah, oh, bless you, Alistair. Glad to see you live, Witchy Goth. A bit sad I missed this. Oh, bless you. Well, it's all about cortisol and how it affects the body and how it's affected me and how it affects our kidneys and how it affects our, our physical and mental health, and looking at things that we can do to alleviate that in our lives. So it's a bit of which cat owns me the most? Oh, that's Buttercup. That's Buttercup. She is a little bugger. I know. Come here. No, you want me to go there. She keeps going through the door because I left the door open a little bit. Anytime anyone had a question on renal matters at any time, just ask. I'd be happy to help if I can. Thank you, Pete. Thank you. When I realized that this is what was happening, I thought, need to speak to Pete. Watch on catch up in a bit. Yeah, that's what I said to Draca as well, and I think Chris C, because I'm heading off now. I am a bit late, and Florrie's getting very mardy at me, so I will be going live tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. I'm coming. She's really shouting at me, guys. I'm sorry, I've got to go. I will be going live tomorrow night at 6 p.m. It's stuff and nonsense, so I'll be talking a load of bollocks and some other stuff. So yeah, have a wonderful Saturday evening. I've got to stay up until my blooming food delivery arrives at between 8 and 9 because I missed booking it in sooner. So whatever you do, enjoy, have a good night's sleep, enjoy tomorrow, and I will see you tomorrow evening. Blessed be, guys. Take care.